Today we're going to start by doing a regression on a very large data set. And I'm using a large data set because I want you to see the capabilities of SPSS compared to Excel. Please note that I have over 6 million records in this particular data set. That means that it's about 6 times larger than anything Microsoft Excel could handle. So that's the first thing that we need to do. The second thing we need to do is we need to kind of remind ourselves that we need to filter this out. Now, I want just a few things filtered out. I'm going to filter out just people who work in the business arena, and I'm going to show you how I filter that out, as well as how I know that. And then I'm going to filter out people who don't commute to work. In other words, I'm going to filter out people who work at homes. So let's start by filtering out people who work in filtering out people who don't work in business. I'm going to go to Data, select Cases, and I'm going to go to OCC 2010. You might be asking, how does he know that he wants to go to OCC 2010? That's a really good question. Remember, I'm using IPUMS. IPUMS has a data dictionary. It will tell me what the descriptions are. And management business and business operations specialists and financial specialists, these are all categories that are under 1,000 in the data set. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select those codes that are under 1,000, and you can see this here as well. When it comes up, I'm running a little slow because it's a big file. Continue. I'll start the query and I'll let you see that in a minute. I'm going to run the query, and I'm looking for OCC 2010, and I want it to be less than 1,000. And I'll click Continue, and I'll click OK. And the output box is here, and it's going to tell me that it's run that. And if you look down here at the bottom, it has to run through all those cases. But you can see that it's now filtered out large portions of the data set. And in fact, I would think that it's filtered out most of the data set. And we can do a quick check to see how it's done. At filtering, go to the OCC column, and you can right click on that column and go to sort ascending. And again, it takes a little while to run because it's running 5 million cases. Or 6 million cases. And you can see that some cases are left on, some cases are turned off. So the next thing we want to do is we want to select, and while we're at it, we'll just double check. You can see that these are the categories that we're including. Down here are the categories that we're excluding. We also want to take out people who have a transit time of 0, and so we're going to again go to select cases. We're going to go to our if statement, and we're going to add to that. I'm going to type in and. The variable that I want is transit time. I looked that up in IPUMS, so that's how I know. transit time is greater than 0. And I'll click continue, and I'll click OK. The output window will once again tell me that it's working. It'll work through all the cases. And you can see, I think a little bit more clearly this time, that some cases are selected and other cases are not. The next thing you need to do is run your descriptive statistics. We haven't done that yet in SPSS. It's fairly simple. Go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, get the descriptives. And what you want is, since we're looking at men and women, their age, and travel time to work, and what their income total would be. Those would be the variables that we're using in the model. We're just going to get all those descriptive statistics so you have them and you see them. And again, it's running a lot of data so that it will take a little time. For the first time now, you can see how many cases you've actually selected, about 388,000. And in doing that, you get to see the descriptive statistics. What's missing are your histograms, and you copy and paste this into your report. To get your histograms, you go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and you get the frequencies. Take those same variables, click on that, you get the histograms. You can also get statistics here. You can get the mean, the median, the mode, and the sum, and the skew, and the kurtosis, and all the other statistics as well. This is another way to get your descriptive statistics. And you can click OK. Again, it will work for a minute. And you'll see that I have all the descriptive statistics that I want. I have frequency tables for the variables, which get to be kind of long when you have a lot of different unique variables. You can see this is a little cumbersome, but at the end of this are my histograms. And SPSS puts out a histogram for you, and this would be acceptable for your report. I would copy and paste all those in. Now I want you to run the model for a regression. To do that, you go to Analyze, Regression. We're going to use a linear regression. Your dependent variable is the income total, because we're trying to predict income total and what are the predictors of it. We are looking at couple variables in this. We're looking at sex, whether men and women predict income, whether age predicts income, and whether how far you drive to work predicts income. Under statistics, I always get the descriptives. I always want to make sure. There are other pieces that we can get here, but we're going to hold on to this. We're going to click OK, and our results will be here in a second. You see your descriptives, you can see your correlation matrix that you've gotten, so it's run correlations for you. Talks about the model, the data for the model is there, as well as the ANOVA and your beta coefficients. You should be able to interpret the regression from here, but this is how I want you to run your regression. Please remember that I want you to have variables that have some variation in them, so categorical variables don't work well unless you've got an either or dummy variable like men and women, or 1 year versus another year. Those can work well under certain circumstances. That's how to run a regression.